Tonia Antoniazzi. You have a Welsh mum and an Italian dad.
That's right.
Do you feel more Welsh or more Italian?
Always a very difficult question. No, I was born in Wales. Dad was born in Wales to an Italian mum and dad, and a lot of his brothers and sisters were born in Italy, and they came over. And yeah, I do feel very, very Welsh. Had the opportunity, however, to play rugby for Italy, but I turned it down. I feel...
What?
I know.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, well, my degree's in French and Italian. And when I went over to Venice University for my year abroad, it was an amazing opportunity. Just turning up at the station with my rucksack on my back. But a friend of mine said, "Your Italian's better than mine." I'm going back to 1993, pre-internet. He said, "Your Italian's much better than mine. Will you ring up the team in Treviso? There's an Italian rugby team there, Benetton Treviso, and see if you can find out when the training is." So I said, "And do you have a women's team?" And yeah, ended up playing rugby over there, and was offered to play. You know, was I interested in playing rugby for Italy? Unfortunately, in my head, I just wanted to play rugby for Wales. So I did manage doing it eventually. Yeah.
Did you?
Yes, I have 9 Welsh international caps. It's going back a long time ago, but yes, I do. I did pull on that red jersey and play rugby for Wales.
Why are you an MP?
Because that was a long time ago. I'm an MP.
Sorry, was it well paid, Bina? Tell me about what's involved playing women's rugby professionally.
It wasn't professional back in the 90s. Women's rugby had only really kicked off in 1987, and it was a popular sport. I went to university. My older brother, who was a very good rugby player, said, "Make sure when you go to university, you go and you find a sport that you can enjoy, preferably a team sport." I always liked playing netball and playing a bit of hockey if I could. And he said, you know, go and find something where you can go and throw your weight around and, you know, enjoy. And I did. And I went to Exeter University. I found a team to play for, and I absolutely loved it. And I still, only yesterday, was with rugby friends. You know, well, we've been at the rugby this weekend, went to watch my local girls' hub play. And I just think it's really important. And still, I have I'm very fortunate as a Member of Parliament to be able to promote girls' and women's sport, particularly rugby, because I think it plays an integral part of your life to be a team player.
So, why did you become an MP?
I became an MP because it felt like the right thing to do. Growing up, I always fought other people's battles for them. I was a teacher for 20 years before I became an MP, and a number of things had happened in my life which made me think, look, this is really difficult. This is hard. From a personal perspective, and everything for me has come from a personal perspective, but I separated from the father of my child. We get on great. There's no issue there, but I ended up having to pay all the bills at the mortgage. Life was very difficult.
When was that, Tonia? How old were you?
I was not. It wasn't that long ago. It was around 2010. And when the government changed, obviously outgoings got higher, and those little incremental changes in what was very tight on my income, and I was a teacher, I had a good income, those changes made a big difference to me. And my brother used to work for an assembly member in the Welsh Senedd, and he basically said to me, "Stop whinging, do something about it." He said, "I can't sign you up to the Labour Party, but here's £40, and, you know, just here's the laptop, do it." And I think from that perspective of, you reflect on yourself, you reflect how difficult life is for you, and we were both at the time going through, we were both grieving. We lost my dad in, 10 years ago now. And losing our father, my brother was already very politicised, but it politicised us even more, because we knew the system was wrong. We knew what had happened was wrong. And we were very cross, very angry that he died at age 71 when he shouldn't have left us so soon, you know?
Why? What happened?
Dad fell off his push bike. he had comorbidities, but he'd broken a number of ribs and he'd been taken, well, all of them bar one we found out, but we found that out after he had died. And it was a very difficult experience for us as a family to accept that people weren't communicating properly with us. And that's why I feel very strongly about everybody's journey with grief, that, you know, it's a very personal journey. But it was when you realise that that's happened to you, it's another lever to help you help other people. And having been in quite a lot of personal debt before Dad died, having suffered from depression and been on medication, knowing that, you know, you just go, come on, pick yourself up, dust yourself down, get on with it. And it was my brother, he didn't sign me up, but it was my brother going, get out on the doors and see what other people's lives are like. And that for me was a key moment. I was a teacher for 20 years. I knew how difficult some children did have it. But when I was knocking on the doors and seeing those children and seeing the reality of their lives, you just think, I can't stand by and let this happen. I had hoped to go to the Senedd and to become a member of the Senedd. That was kind of my principle. And I kind of thought, in 5 years' time, in 10 years' time, whenever that will be, I'm enjoying being an activist in the Labour Party. I'm enjoying doing my bit. And genuinely, Gloria, I was on the secondment. I wasn't in the classroom. I was loving what I was doing, but knew that there was something else that I should be doing. And Theresa May called a general election in 2017. And the rest is literally history. And it's a marginal seat. I love it. I work it hard. My staff are absolutely brilliant. And I'm proud to be, you know, to still be there representing them.
Gosh.
Yeah.
Gosh. So you would have been a last minute candidate.
6 weeks, my life completely turned around.
My goodness.
And my mum just bundled up my son. The election was actually the day after his 13th birthday. And bundled him up and said, pack all your things up, you come into my house. And she's just been my rock ever since.
Sounds amazing.
Yeah, she is.
Tonia, I didn't, and if it's uncomfortable, then please don't feel the need to disclose anything you don't want to, but I didn't know you'd suffered with depression. Yeah.
I cried myself to sleep just so many times, just helpless.
At which stage? Because when you're grieving for your dad, is this when you go into...
Before Dad died, yeah. I was in such a mess before he died financially that when mum talked about, well, what are we going to do if your father does die? And I just said, well, I can only just about afford to put the petrol in the car to go and visit him in hospital, you know? And yeah, it's caused a lot of difficulty, but it's recognising that it is depression. Because one of the things that obviously it's 10 years later, well, 11, 12 years later now, and I've been going through the menopause and having those, but having those conversations with people and with your GP, and he's kind of said, oh, it's just depression. You've got a really stressful job. And I'm going, no, mate, it's a different thing.
What is that? How is it different? What are you going through with the menopause?
It's just a different feeling. I felt with depression that it was very difficult to see beyond and to be able to work your way through. Those are similar feelings to what people have, but I feel more the kind of feelings that I have or have had because I'm successfully being on HRT is kind of like, there's nowhere to turn to, you know, how can I get well, you know, and how can you feel better? But luckily that's lifted and it does feel better with the HRT. So yeah, it's incredible, but it felt different.
How did you emerge from depression? Do you think it will ever, you know, do you think you've dealt with it?
No.
If I'm asking the wrong questions or in a clumsy way, then please tell me. Because
No, because it's a problem that it's not just myself and the family that suffers with depression, but I feel that a focus on work has helped me so much. When I was teaching it's kind of having a good network of friends around you, being able to talk about things and people not being judgmental, and just kind of being a little bit hard with myself as well. But I think knowing how to deal with things, having that acceptance that I'm having a bad time now and therefore you will move on. And like I say, having those systems around you and those networks around you. And my mum, honestly, I know I won't go, I've said about her, is the most wonderful person that's helped me to fulfill my desire to want to help people. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and that helps you.
Yeah.
Helping people. You mentioned being on medication. Was it difficult to, you may still be on medication, or if not, was it difficult to come off medication?
Yeah, no, it was a decision that I made along with my GP, because you can't just stop taking antidepressants. No. You have to have that conversation. You need to do it properly. You need to make sure that you've got all the right support in your life and the places to go when you need that help. And I would say that to anybody, never be on that journey alone. And it's a very lonely place to be. But, you know, Gloria, I know that I feel great at the moment. So but I want people to, you know, if I've got one message to people that ever suffer from any depression, please, there is help out there, and you can do it.
And what about women who are entering the menopause? What's your one piece of advice to get through that? Because we can all talk about it now.
Yeah, we can all talk about it.
Lots of women MPs of all
and
parties.
It's great. You know, it's been cross-party. Caroline Harris's private members bill, the MP for Swansea East, that's been really enabling. Having high-profile people like Penny Lancaster and Davina McCall talking about it is really, really, really important. You know, sometimes it's medication you need, sometimes it isn't. But it's knowing that maybe it isn't just depression, maybe it isn't something else, and being able to work your way through it. But I just got to say that the support networks out there are increasing, and just talk about it. I spent a weekend with friends just 2 weeks ago, and that's all we talked about. And it was like, gosh, we're boring, aren't we? But it's good, it's good to talk.
And HRT, it's absolutely got rid of any difficulties that you were going through.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it has. I mean, I think there's a lot of self-care that members of Parliament need to do on top of, just having the HRT. We need to be maybe having a few fitness classes and, going out and doing some walking and talking together and being more active, because it's quite a sedentary lifestyle, as you know. But there are other things, apart from HRT, we can all be doing to make our lives a lot easier.
You seem in a pretty good place now, Tonia.
Yeah, but I feel, I do. I am in a really good place. Life has been challenging, but it's just about getting over the challenges and coming out the other side. And thanks, Gloria.
Tell me one lovely thing about your dad.
I am the absolute spitting image of my father, and anybody that meets me will just laugh, because he used to be a teacher,
right,
as well. I followed him into the profession. And they can't get over how recognisable I am. We've all got a family stamp. Italians usually do. And genuinely, I'm just the spitting image of him. And I'm proud of that, because I feel he's with me every day.
Lovely, lovely. Tonia Antoniazzi, thank you very much for opening up and sharing the real you with me.
Thank you, Gloria.